Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom to those joining us online this evening. We would love to know where you are joining us from, and so please let us know where you are praying from this Shabbat as we welcome you into this community, as we continue to welcome Cantor Alana Goldman to our beautiful temple family. There might be some people still out in the tent drinking and eating cheese, but they'll just miss our ruach and our spirit, but hopefully they will continue to wander in. And so lately I've been thinking a lot about sleep. And Shabbat is all about rest, and all about this time that we can take a moment. But what does it mean to really rest? Naomi Levy says, Menucha Shema, a perfect rest. True rest doesn't affect us only when we are resting. It spills over into our weeks, our years, our very lives. The days preceding the days of rest become days of excitement and expectation. Even the most harried work days become tolerable when you know a day of holy peace is shortly arriving. The days succeeding, the days of rest become days of light too. They shimmer with the afterglow of a revived spirit. True rest gives us completely different perspectives on all of life's difficulties. It allows us to heal, to reflect, to give thanks, and to face whatever lies ahead with a renewed sense of calm. And so my hope is that this Shabbat is a perfect rest, a rest where we can really figure out what we need, to understand where we are, to welcome in the divine as well. We continue on page 128.
So exactly 2 months ago, from this very moment, 6:09, I was the bride walking down the aisle to the words, Boi v'shalom, come in peace, Boi kala, come bride, words from our liturgy. I can still feel the magic of this moment, the excitement and simcha overflowing. The Hebrew word hitragesh describes this feeling, a vague word and verb that means excited, emotional, thrilled, breathless, moved, and touched all in one. As my husband Alex and I stood under the chuppah, I thought life doesn't get any better than this. But fortunately, each week, we get the chance to relive the drama and joy of a wedding day. Through our joyous singing of Lecha Dodi, we become the ones who with mitragesh, excitement and breathlessness, await the Shabbat Kala. The Kabbalists of the 16th century, who would literally go out in their finest white linen clothing to the empty fields with wide open arms and open hearts as the sun set to receive their extra soul. Shabbat is the day we focus on love, where we stop creating and connect to being, where we make our relationships to ourselves and to one another and to God our priority. We learn from the Kabbalists and Lecha Dodi that in order to make something holy and separate, it requires going out with wide open arms. So thank you for creating this separation to make Shabbat holy and for filling me with excitement and receiving me in your community with wide open arms. And with that, we will turn to page 136, but maybe the rabbi will first do a reading, so I will put on this guitar strap.
Absolutely, on page 136.
See, we coordinated that.
Mizmor David, a psalm of David. Ascribe to Adonai, O divine beings. Together, ascribe to Adonai glory and strength. Ascribe to Adonai the glory of God's name. Bow down to Adonai, majestic in holiness. The voice of Adonai is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. Adonai over the mighty waters. The voice of Adonai is power. The voice of Adonai is majesty. The voice of Adonai breaks cedars. Adonai shatters the cedars of Lebanon. God makes Lebanon skip like a calf, Syrian like a young wild ox. And how fitting we read this as we get a little bit of a siren on some of our phones,
Yeah.
perhaps saying there might be a flash flood coming as well.
Oh gosh, all right.
Page 138, we turn to Lecha Dodi. We'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. We'll rise and face any sanctuary doors that you feel fit in for as we welcome the Sabbath bride.
Lecha Dodi, Lipat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Lekavela. Lecha Dodi, Lipat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Lekavela. Shamor v'zachor v'diborecha, Ishmianu El
guests welcome the Sabbath presence, I invite you to welcome someone you do not know. Extra points for that. Introduce yourselves. Wish them a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Please be seated. We turn to page 121. It's my honor to invite up our Temple President Terry Class and Rick Class to light our Shabbat candles. I think this is the first time that Terry and I have ever stood on a bima together, which is pretty amazing. Besides our filming for the last High Holidays, so what a feel-good moment to be able to be on here with you as we welcome our Shabbat with our candles. And if you're joining us online, please take out your candles and light them with us.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As the brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our day, be among us who kindle light.
Amen. Thank you. We continue on page 144.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad yivrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayeichon u'v'yomeichon, u'chayedecho beit Yisrael, ba'gala, ba'gala, u'bizman kariv, v'yimeru, amen.
Yehishmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam olam le'amaya, yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach, yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar, v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei dekudsha,
Barechu.
leila min kol birchata v'shirata,
Tushbechata v'nehemata, ta'amiran b'yoma.
v'yimeru.
Amen. Please rise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv arabim, v'chochma poteach sha'arim, u'vibuna meshanei itim, u'machalif et hazmanim, u'mesader et hakochavim, v'mishrateam barakir kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, u'ma'avir yom u'vein layla, Uma'avdil bein yom u'vein layla, Adonai Tzefaot Shemo, Achai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamari v'Aravi. Be seated. Together on page 159. sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravaged by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to lead no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Page 160. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shamreinu l'chayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelters of peace is spread over us, over your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haparei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'akol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. We continue silently to page 180, either using the words of our Siddur or the words of your hearts. When you're done praying, I invite you to be seated.
Adonai Tzuri v'goali, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri v'goali. Go inside your heart, just be. Go inside your heart and see what it wants, what it needs, what it yearns when you breathe. Go inside your heart and see. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be kind, be true. May they be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer.
During our silent prayer, our thoughts and prayers may have turned to a loved one, a family friend, a neighbor who needs a little bit of extra healing of mind, body, or spirits. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. If you are thinking of someone this evening, I invite you to say their names as my eyes meet yours.
Casey. Ricky Montoya. Carol Braff.
Susan Chan.
We also included those names: Gabby Paxbuck, Jenny Moore, Madison Mosher, Stephen Wasser, Melissa Bear, Anita Engel, David Lazar, Amy Letter, Shapiro, Rosalie Elbaum, Stephen Anthony Susak, Benjamin Kagan, Rosalie Landau, Michelle Shmuel, Sharon Chappelle, David Mizell, Connor Gelnis, Mari Brockman, Naomi Abramson, Anthony Carlos, Cheryl Becker, Michelle Colbert, Michelle Sherman, Jack Nath, Shirley Rosenberg, Kim Olson, Judy Kellner, Phyllis Bernstein, Sandy Wexler, Edith Sands, Jackson Jeanette Westby, and Colin Manning. Those we name in the chat box as well in our hearts. Page 123, we turn to the words of Kiddush as we bring sweetness to this Shabbat. And so we want our cup, our Kiddush cup, to overflow with goodness. So maybe someone could share some good things that might have happened to you this past week. It could be a birthday, an anniversary, buying a new car. It could be anything from small to big. Does anyone want to share? Please, Janice. Awesome, the first facial since COVID. Going back to the spa, that's important, so yes. Awesome, that's important. Going back to the spa, we need self-care, so that's really good. Yes, other good things. Yes. And that's still first place in the East, that's good. Yes, definitely, yes. All right, City Field rained out, but you almost saw Jacob DeGrom pitch, but he pitched the next day, so that's I think there's a lot of Mets fans today, so that's good, yes.
Go 3 Lions!
England.
Oh yeah, sorry, yes, right. That's a call for Alana's husband, where the Euro Cup is on Sunday. England first time in the finals, right? So there you go. Yes.
I got to come here and meet and talk to people without masks on for the first time.
Awesome. Yes, we had a nice reception outside, which was wonderful. Back there.
We celebrated our 13th wedding anniversary.
Oh, nicely, Gilman celebrated the 13th wedding anniversary in Mazel Tov. Yes, Kantonovic.
I think it's an auspicious occasion that we welcome Kendra Golden in our midst. How beautiful you are.
Welcoming Cantor Gilman. Thank you, Kantonovic. Yes.
I'm appreciative for modern medicine. Yesterday I had back issues, and yesterday I had another steroid injection, and so tonight I'm feeling better.
Good. So we are appreciative of modern medicine for sure. I'm glad you are feeling better. Our Kiddush cup, I think, is overflowing. Please rise as we join together, page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei beri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzah banu, v'shabat kodsho, v'ahav
seated. You may have missed it, but earlier this week, Israel inaugurated a new president, Yitzhak Boogie Herzog. You may have missed the news because, in honesty, we've been much more attuned to the formation of a new Knesset with the Prime Minister Naftali Bennett. Or you may have missed it because it wasn't covered that widely, and in actuality, the President of Israel is more of a ceremonial position and has little influence over Israeli policy and politics. However, the selection of President Herzog to be the 11th President of Israel, I believe, is a bigger deal than the news reported. Herzog's father was the 6th President of Israel. Herzog has been in the Knesset as the head of the Labor Party, and Herzog is the first president who was born after the formation and the founding of the State of Israel. But even more significant, Herzog's selection is extremely important for Jews living outside of Israel. Prior to being elected, President Herzog was the chairman of the Jewish Agency and was a key partner in Israel and diaspora relations. Reporter Michael Jacobs writes, with the possible exception of his father, Herzog knows the U.S. Jewish community better than any former Israeli president. While his father was Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Herzog lived in New York and attended a modern Orthodox day school. He later studied at Cornell and NYU. Herzog knows that the diaspora-Israel relationship is a critical one and one that needs to be strengthened. Coincidentally, in this week's Torah portion, Matot, we read about the first voluntary Jewish diaspora. The Israelites are on the cusp of entering the Promised Land, when two tribes, the Reubenites and the Gadites, confront Moses. And they say they do not want to move across the Jordan, as the land where they are is suitable for their numerous amounts of cattle. Moses, as you can guess, is infuriated. He says to them, your brothers go to war, and you stay here? However, the Reubenites and the Gadites hold the ground and are able to appease Moses. They promise Moses that though they will not live in the Promised Land, they will still fight with the children of Israel, and that they will not go back to their homes until all the Israelites possess the portions of the land. Moses accepts the promise, and he warns against breaking it. And there we have it, the first diaspora community supporting the land of Israel, a promise that was kept and we will continue to keep. Yet when we feel far away from Israel, when we don't always understand all the inner workings, and when we may not agree with every political or military move by the Israeli leadership, how do we make sure that we keep that promise? At the 2019 Union for Reform Judaism's biennial in Chicago, Isaac Herzog, then the executive chair of the Jewish Agency, shared a possible solution. How do we prevent an irreversible rift between the two major Jewish communities, between what I call Jerusalem and Babylon, 7 million Jews in Israel, 7 million Jews in North America? This is a major challenge. And it's up to us to educate our kids and to teach each other to know each other better. We can have disputes. We can have arguments. We can have different perceptions of life. But this must be done amidst one big family. This must be a dialogue amidst differences. This is essential to the core being of our people. History will judge our generation. Did we learn from lessons of the past? Did we overcome our differences? It requires everybody to be in this dialogue, and it requires respecting everyone around the table equally. And it requires that we again say that the love of Israel, Ahavat Yisrael, goes way beyond this leader or that leader, this political system or that political decision. At our temple, we have recently created an Israeli engagement committee, a group that is looking at new ways for us to connect, support, and learn about Israel. We will plan lectures and events. But at our last meeting, we discussed what it looks like to really be in dialogue with those in Israel and how we can build relationships with specific communities in that land. We will be exploring opportunities to do this. It may be through a joint Bible class, a book group, conversation circles, or perhaps even an Israeli North American artist Beit Midrash. And of course, if you're interested in being a part of this group or the Israeli Engagement Committee, you can talk to me or Mark Epstein. As President Herzog said, the way we can strengthen the Israel diaspora relationship is by really understanding where each person is coming from. In our Torah portion this week, Moses reminded the Gadites and the Reubenites that they are part of something even larger. All the tribes were brought together in a moment of revelation on Mount Sinai. They became one people. Each tribe carries responsibility for the well-being of the 11 others. On this Shabbat, may we deepen our care for the fullness of communities of which we are a part. May we deepen our connections, learn from one another, so that those Jews living in Israel and those who might not have that those have a stronger partnership and a stronger future. May this be God's will. Shabbat Shalom. We conclude our service on page 586. Please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'atei kedula lioseh bereshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpechot ha'adama, shelo som chelkeinu kachem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Please be seated. Page 591. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas. And light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
time in our service, our thoughts turn to those who have died in the recent days and this season in years past. If you hear your loved one's name, I invite you to remain standing. We recall those who have died in the last 30 days. Myra Hoffman, mother of David Hoffman. Joyce Marone, sister of Tony Williams. Sean Gilly, friend of Jeffrey Kagan. Pamela Levine, sister of Marvin Gersten. Karen Bernstein, sister of Charles Bernstein. Remember the anniversary, the loved ones, the anniversary, the yard site of our loved ones' deaths. Robert Ablov, Margot Apt, Mark Beckelman, Nassim Billman, Ruth Bluestone, Abe Botwin, Louis Bauer, Rose Brady, Anna Brownstein, Anna Cohen, Marvin Fine, Reuben Finkelstein, Seymour Freeland, Sophie Z. Fox, David Friedman, Rebecca Gelfand, Seaman Gilbuck, Alfred Goldberg, Dorothy Golden, Rita Gore, Cynthia Green, Israel Greenspan, Maxine Holtzman, Emma Horowitz, Goodwin Horowitz, Dennis Hyman, Ida Hyman, Isidore Katz, Kate Kessler, Evelyn Kogan, Albert Costa, Robert Krieger, Max Kroloff, Sophie Markowitz, Sarah Mason, Dorothy Meschel, Judith Morenberg, Frank Moser, Max Pepper, Robert Reich, Eleanor Richmond, John Ricca, Enid Rosenblum, William Rossi, Herbert Rosenthal, Joseph Mayer Rosenthal, Harvey Rosenau, Audrey Gale Rosenstein, Dana Sadler, Zelda Sandler, Aaron Scharfstein, Richard Scheinerman, Lester Sherman, Marla Simon, Hyman Sklar, Morris Solomon, Sarah Soflinski, Bernard Wald, Henry Weiss, Manya Wessler, Sarah Zemsky, Max Zunk, Gladys Neufeld, Mark Keene, Adele Mushnick, Zelda Khan, John Kaczynski, Arlene Hatkin, Donald Cooperschmidt, Robert Katz, Heidi Fox, and Marion Adler. If you are in the first year of mourning, I invite you to rise and be recognized by our community. In sacred solidarity, we rise to turn to the words of Mourner's Kaddish, page 597. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma dibrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon u'vyomechon u'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala b'zman kari v'yamru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam amei amaya. Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudashah b'richu. Le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran b'yama b'imru amen.
Yehi
Shlama Rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael b'imru amen. Osei shalom b'brama, hu yasei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael b'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and all of Israel, as together we say, Amen. Please be seated. A few quick announcements. Tomorrow, Saturday morning minyan and Holy Scrollers. We will also be doing a Shabbat hike at 9 o'clock. It's supposed to be a beautiful morning at the Watchung Reservation. About a 2-mile hike with some Shabbat learning and challah at the end if you make it throughout. But I hope that you can join us for that hike. We meet at the Trailside parking lot. Next week we have Bible class, as well as I am teaching a course on Reformed Jewish Response, Lunch and Learn on Thursday. And next Friday there will be no services at Temple Emanu-El. Services will be at the JCC as part of a Union County-wide Shabbat service celebration. Starting at 6 o'clock at the JCC parking lot, bring your meal. There'll be some singing, and then at 6:45 we will join with other congregations for services. So no services next week here at the temple. You can also join us online for that as well. I am so happy to welcome Cantor Goldman again, and just have an amazing clergy team. We are truly blessed to be able to work with Cantor Novick and Rabbi Appel. I hope that you get to know Cantor Goldman throughout this year, throughout the summer. It's a quiet time in the summer. Invite her for coffee during this time, a meal, because the high holidays are Monday of Labor Day. We are gearing up for a wonderful high holiday experience We spent 8 hours this past week. We'll spend 8 hours next week planning services. Information about the high holidays will be coming out in the next couple of weeks to have in-person experiences, outdoor experiences, and as well as online experiences. We hope that you will join us and mark your calendars. We are excited for those days of awe. One last thanks to Arlene Garner for helping to arrange the little reception for Cantor Goldman outside. And we will conclude on page 598 with the words of the Osei Shalom.
Osei Shalom b'romav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu.
Osei Shalom b'romav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Osei Shalom b'romav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu.
Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei Tevel. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.